screen here. Let me know if you're able to see this full screen, actually. Yes. Okay, nod, yes. Okay, great. Yeah, well, thank you all so much for coming to our session today. To be quite brief, but hopefully really helpful to figure out if this is a great opportunity for you. This is for our UGC user-generated content creator opportunity with the Los Rios Community College District, which ARC belongs to, is under that district in our marketing campaign for enrollment for the fall. So, just a quick overview about who I am and who we are is threefold. We are the partner agency for Los Rios Community College District. We are a Sacramento-based agency working across advertising and communications across various industries to really just enrich the communication strategies and work that we're doing in the community, but also just raise awareness of who we're working with. So, and I am Leslie. I'm the senior social media manager at Threefold. And if you are interested in this opportunity, and if you are selected, you will be communicating with me across this opportunity. So. A very quick overview of what this content opportunity is for. As I mentioned, this is for a marketing campaign to encourage enrollment for the fall. We have a campaign that is called This Is Your Moment, which is really just highlighting students and the moment they choose to go to ARC or go to any of the Los Rios Community College campuses and really telling the story about the community colleges really meeting where you are at in your moment as a parent, as a student, as working full time, and we're really trying to elevate that into this new phase of really showing that with real life experiences and using working and elevating your stories as students being on campus and what does that look like. So. Which leads me to the next slide. What we're looking for this opportunity, it is a paid opportunity for you to tell that story of being a student, working, if you have kids. This is, again, we really want to get that diverse student perspective and included in our campaign. What this means is different types of styles of content. This could be like a day in the life, you showing getting ready to go to school, making your breakfast, going to work, different life experiences and point of views. It can even be like a get ready with me. And if you're on social or on TikTok, you all know what I'm talking about. Just really showing that like student journey, work-life balance, and being an ARC student. And yeah, we also want to highlight, and keeping it real of like what made you decide to go to ARC, what made you decide to take the community college route. And just like being truthful and just honest about those like concerns around financial or being able to, be with present with family and work and school and just like again really elevating those like really honest student narratives in a way that, it also is encouraging for others to see someone like you in the same footsteps and encouraging them to go to ARC as well. Here, just really quick of like, what does it even look like? If you go on TikTok or Instagram, you may have seen this style of content. It's just people talking to camera, showing, little clips of their day, different various ways that we can highlight you and your story. And this is the goal of the campaign in general. There's also an opportunity if you're selected to be in our photo shoot. So it would not only be just being in having video content creation, but also be like in some of our advertising, which is fun. This is completely optional if you're selected, but I think it would be really cool to see my face on a billboard at least. And yeah, and then for this opportunity, so what is it? What you will do, this is really just filming vertical style content, showcasing that student life balance, like I've mentioned. This would be probably including one or two clips of you also narrating what you're doing. Like we want to hear your voice, see what you have to say in general about what is going on in your clips. Another clip would be if you're just speaking to camera. This could be like a quick testimonial or like again, just narrating your day. We just want to see you behind, behind the camera, behind the lens. And then this would all be then submitted up to Google Drive. All of these clips will then be put together on our end for a 30 to second video. And I'm sure you'll seen, Reels and TikTok. These are all short form content. And for each video, we are compensating at least the minimum is $150 for this. If you have and there's a range here because if you have other language capabilities or you're bilingual, we may ask you to do two videos. So then that would be 300. So there's different opportunities there. But for one video, it would be at least 150. If you're also another way that it can go perhaps a little bit up is if you are a fabulous video editor and you're like, I can do all of these things. You may be compensated for more for your effort, but we don't expect you to be. And we will be doing all that back end editing. We just need you to gather those very short form clips, your day to day, and we will do all that creative back end on our side. Okay. Next slide. Qualifications. The qualifications are quite straightforward again because we want to show real students your real life. Of course, you have to be currently enrolled at ARC or any of the Los Rios Community College District campuses. If you know anybody, if you have a cousin or you know anybody at Sac City, things like that, well, that could also be a good opportunity. Please let them know about this. But yes, currently they do have to be currently enrolled. You must be comfortable with appearing on camera. Of course, this is a user-generated content campaign and we need to see your face. I received a question about somebody asking if they could wear sunglasses in the video. Preferably not. Obviously, if you're outside, that makes sense, but most of the time we want to see in your day to day. Another is willing just to share your story. Again, kind of that testimonial. You must have access to a smartphone to record the content. You have access to email and Google Drive, which I'm sure you all do, hopefully. I did include here familiarity with basic content editing is a plus, but not a requirement at all. As I mentioned, we would be doing most of that heavy lifting editing part. You just literally have to like press record. But if you are familiar with editing video or you have that, you're more of a creative and you want to infuse kind of your creative flair, that's an opportunity for you that here. And the last part is that you do not, while this is a very social media forward campaign, you do not have to have an existing follower. You don't have to be an influencer or anything like that. Again, we just want to work with real students, tell the real stories, and we know necessarily it doesn't always include a big social media following. But being just familiar with social media or even just having like a social media account of any size is a plus, not a requirement. And I will take any questions at the end, but I will leave that here for now. So the application process, it's quite quick actually. And sorry, it says 5:15. It's supposed to say 4:15. Our application actually closes tomorrow. So if you are very interested in this, I would recommend going to our form, checking it out now. Our form is I think about 10 or so questions, very straightforward, very much just going through the qualifications and questions like, are you currently enrolled? Are you comfortable on camera? Things like that. It's a very simple form. From there, we will be looking at everyone who submitted a form that is interested in an opportunity, and we'll go into our vetting process. Then we will go into, whoever applies, you will be getting an email notification if you were selected or not. You will get a communication from us for either or. For those selected, we will then move to a content agreement, just an understanding of what we expect from you. You'll have some time to content create. We know people are busy, your classes, work, things like that. So you will have time to gather your clips. We do have that photo shoot opportunity for those interested in that and those selected. Later in May, we'll be finalizing content, and then our campaign is set to launch in June with some, maybe one of you being included in the face of that. And yeah, and to end my presentation here, to apply or to submit your interest form, this is the Bitly account. It takes you straight to our Google form. So it's just bit.ly / Los Rios campaign. And it takes you straight to our application / interest form. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing, and that is it for me. I'll open it up to any questions.
And feel
Hi,
free to use the chat. Oh, go for it.
um, real quick, how many people on average do you think will get hired?
Great question. Yeah. So right now, we had very low expectations of interest. So we were hoping it was at least two people per campus. We have received an overwhelmingly amount of interest. So now we're hoping to open it up to about 20 people. So that's the range. So we're looking about a couple. We want to see campus representation, of course, because this is a Los Rios district campaign. So we're looking for about probably anywhere from like 3 to 5 for ARC. Great question.
One more question. How do you guys feel about like if a student is taking online classes, or would you guys prefer more in person?
No, there's no requirement for that. I think it's valid to show like the reasons why you're taking online classes, or whoever the student is, showing why that's important. I think that's part of that narrative, and showing real life ex examples of student life. So no, we don't have a preference of being campus. Obviously, if you're thinking about like from a content creation angle, it may be more dynamic to show you being on campus, but it's not necessary. And I think still having that online component is great to show.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, are you choosing your content creators just based off the Google form, or should we submit like a draft of what we create also?
Yeah, so in the Google form, there's a space for you if you're already creating content, even great. In the form, I did ask for existing social media channels. There's also a space for you to include links or a paragraph about experience that you have doing something similar. So in that interest form, it is all there. So yes, if you're like, I've been creating content for my club or whatever, or like if that's what you like to do on your extra time, there's a place for that and it would be great to see. So yes, please include all of that.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Hmm.
Is um sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I wasn't lit up, so I didn't know. But is this like a one time thing? So we just submit like one video, like as part of this job?
Yeah, so for the 150, it is one video. And what we're calling one video, obviously there's a couple, there's various amount of clips that will be included in this one video. But for now, yes, I would say
Mm-hmm.
if there's any interest, since we are getting a really good amount of interest, we're hoping whoever submits the form, we have that contact information that we can potentially use for a campaign for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So just because, yeah, if you're not selected this time around, doesn't mean you won't have the opportunity to do more, and the opportunity to do more than one in general.
Uh-huh. And then I had another question. Um, if you decided to do the photo shoot, is that like another payment or
It
no?
is
Uh-huh.
correct. Yes, you will be compensated some in usually for a photo shoot participation, there's like a gift card involved. There is some compensation for that. That would be a completely different conversation, and it's another process which you're not quite there yet. But yes, they're in the interest form. There's a question that says, would you like to be considered for the shoot?" There will be more communication on how that would look like later once we get there. But yeah, for the first process is this UGC form.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hmm. Great questions. Thank you all. Okay. Any others?
I have another question. Are you looking for people with experience or is this, yeah, are you looking
So
for people with a lot of experience in social media or
yeah, great question. So I would say not. I would say if if you never had like a social media job or like you don't really post regularly, like we're not looking for that. I think what's most important, and you'll see it in the form, is like just your student's story. And if you're again comfortable with being on camera or comfortable like pressing record, like that's what we're looking for. There is some questions in the interest form that will kind of flag that to us. And I would encourage you, especially for those that don't have a lot of social media experience, just to really be, just honest and truthful and like about who you are and why you want to do this opportunity. So that's really what I'm looking for. So it's going to be, and what I'm looking for in general, which I will be the one vetting and looking at everything, is looking for that student story as like the number one. Number two would be like just you existing online. It would be very hard to be like, yes, come do the social media if you don't like social media. It is encouraged. It is encouraged for you to just like be familiar with like just content in general, but it doesn't mean, yeah, that you have to have like I do content creation, and I post all the time. Like that is secondary. We just want real stories and real students. And again, we will do what we will be requiring is just like you like recording yourself or like popping it somewhere. We will then do all the editing on the back end to make it look dynamic and fun, put together a story. But yes, so I hope it was kind of it's not a yes or no, but there's a lot of things to consider when I'm looking at, who will be selected to move forward.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Oh, I had one more question.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if we edited and did all the things like for the video ourselves and then submitted it to you?
Yeah, if you are selected, yeah, if you're comfortable, we'll have that conversation like once we get to that content agreement like process or status. If you're like, I want to edit it, great. And we can coordinate that or whoever will be selected if they choose to edit it. I think even better for us, it makes it more personal. It kind of adds your touch to it. So yes, absolutely. That's not out of the question. I was saying that we would do most of the back end for those that don't feel as comfortable with editing, but we still want to give them an opportunity to be in the campaign.
Is there anything specific you're looking for, like with content creators?
Um, Not that specific. I think we're looking for diverse audiences, diverse people with diverse audiences, different, parents, those, maybe if you're working, again, various different student stories, different life paths is really important. So no, not anything in particular. Again, I'm really looking forward to reading through everyone's submission, understanding who they are. Um, so yeah, so not in general, but again, number one, your story. And number two is just being comfortable with being on camera, if you're familiar with social, all of that. So if you posted, I think what would be for me actually would be probably nice to see as a tip if you have already done camp like if you already recorded yourself on campus or you've done other similar style videos, if you want to include that in your form, that would be really helpful. But no, there's no specific like requirement or look or anything like that.
Okay, perfect. Also, would it be okay to submit the form a second time if there's things we forgot, or should I email you directly?
Sure. No, yeah, you should be. I don't know if, I'm not sure if you're able to re-edit it. Maybe I close that option. Yeah, just submit it again. I can probably see if there's like this is matching and if one seems more complete than the other. Yeah, please do. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. And if you have an issue, you can email me. I'll put my email in the chat, actually. Hmm. Any other questions?
I think there's a question, Leslie. They're asking if you're not qualified for this position now, what classes should we be taking to be ready?
Yeah, that is a great question. Um, Yeah, maybe the Career Center may have more advice on this, the staff there. I would, and again, I'm not familiar with all of the courses at ARC, but if there's any like digital communication class, digital marketing class, I'm sure there's some topics there that cover like social media basics or like social media creation. That would be mine. Again, you don't even have to be in marketing or anything like that for this opportunity. I would even just like Google, like, how do you create content? Or like, how do you edit? There's so many resources existing there that can really help. But I will leave it to the Career Center t team, maybe if you have other advice.
Yeah, so actually you covered it very much, but I would advise students if you guys need help with like what classes, I would go to a academic counselor. But we do have like digital art media, marketing major, like those kind of classes. But again, I would double check with the academic counselor. And again, for anyone who want access to the form, I put it in the chat, for the direct link, and also my colleague Vivian put in the chat on how you gonna put your story basically, just like giving you outline. And also, yeah, and also if you guys have any questions more, Leslie put her email in the chat, so please use that email for any questions you guys have in the future. But just remember the deadline gonna be tomorrow, right, Leslie?
That's right. Yes, we're
Yeah.
hoping if it gets extended by any reason, it'll be like an announcement in the form, so you still need the link anyway. But yes, the plan as of today is to close it tomorrow, end of day. So sometime, yeah. So by 5 p.m., say 6 p.m. If you're interested, I encourage you to go to the link today, sometime or tomorrow morning, or sometime early afternoon. It shouldn't take you a long time to fill out. I think it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, so I would just encourage if you're interested at all, just get the form in. That's
Are there any other questions for Leslie? You've been so thorough, Leslie. I appreciate all your take
yeah,
time answering all the specific question. Oh, you got some love in the chat.
great. Yeah, it's not, I know it's like it's not like a specific science of like this is who we're choosing. Again, it's really dependent on like story and narrative and there's a lot of like variables. So yeah, so but anyways, and that's why like if you're interested at all, I just encourage you to put the interest form in. That way I can I can flag that you're interested and you have that opportunity there.
Also, there is one question in the chat asking, is everyone being viewed or just the first 50 applications?
I will be viewing all right now. I can let you all know we have 100+ people that have applied. I will be looking at every single one of those applications. So yes, so everyone does have a opportunity.
After you look at the applications, will there be any sort of interview process or anything?
There may be some follow-up questions for me that I will email you and or the contact that you provided in the form. Um, yeah, but no, and that's why I included just like links to your profiles, links to your experience, narrative, things like that. So yeah, so no, there won't be an interview. It's a lot of vetting on my end that I will have to review, but hopefully less of a lift to those selected.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And also, there's another question in the chat asking how many video records will you need for this campaign?
Yeah, as I mentioned right now, we're hoping to at least we're going to be working with 20 people. I'm guessing right now. It could be more. But right now I'm giving it a give or take. So that would be 20 people submitting videos. So that's at least 20 videos. We may then, depending on the amount of clips you submit, we may then convert it into more clips than that. But this from the perspective on your end or the content creator, it is one video for you or enough clips to form one video. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, and we will be using them if you're interested, like how The videos will be used across Los Rios social media accounts, posted organically, which means there's no like paid money behind that. We will also be using it for like a YouTube ad or a TikTok ad where we put like money behind that. It will also be running there. So yes, quite an exciting opportunity to actually also have something in your portfolio about creating content for an actual paid campaign that you can include, especially if you're like in marketing or this is of interest to you. This is a great opportunity for that. But the videos in general will be used across social and across a paid media strategy. And this is only for the fall. These assets will only be used for the fall. Again, if we need to do this strategy again for the spring, it'll be another process, but this is just going to be for the fall campaign.
That was going to be my follow-up question, Leslie, because when I heard the number of I guess applicants already that you have is quite a few. This has really taken off, so that's amazing. I guess my question is thinking long term, if perhaps someone here submits and isn't selected, what should they do to tune in for future opportunities? Do you think that Threefold is going to offer something similar in the fall, an info kind of recruiting
Yes.
session for the spring? And if so, can you kind of signal to the students how they might connect with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great question, Vivian. Yeah, I would look out for Handshake again. We will probably there. We would probably reach out to you all, the ARC career staff folk, knowing ahead of time that we can plan a lot further out. Since this is quite fast moving this time around. But yeah, I would look out for Handshake. We will start. Since I'm new to this campaign. I don't have historical context of when we begin planning for the next one, just because we're in the middle of executing this one. But I would assume it would be sometime, in the fall, like late fall, early winter, when we're already thinking about spring. So yeah, so I would, maybe in the next, what are we in April, May, June, maybe in the next like 4 to 5 months, perhaps I would, be on the lookout on Handshake for uh, some kind of content listing. But if you are really interested, again, I've put my email here. I can always follow up sometime, and keep, everyone flagged for that. If this is something really of interest to you, you can send me an email and I can make sure I can put it somewhere where I can then follow up in the future.
And one thought, I know there's some more questions in the chat, which is great. Keep the questions coming. Um, since it sounds like Threefold Communications is going to use Handshake to promote future opportunities, I would recommend to any student who's interested is to favorite or like Threefold Communications inside Handshake. So you basically become like a follower of this employer. And so any activity that they do in Handshake, you'll get an alert. So if, for example, there's a new posting from Threefold Communication and you favorited or liked that employer, you'll get pinged, notified that they've have a new activity available in Handshake to view, as well as, if they're going to have another info session, as well as if they're going to attend any career fair. So that would just be something that I would recommend you all, if you are interested in following Threefold Communication, to do that in Handshake. I'll turn it over to Reza. I saw a couple more questions float up in the chat.
Yeah, so there was a last question someone asked asking when did this gig start and is gonna end?
Yes. So technically, so again, our form will be closing tomorrow. Then we'll have about a week or so for me to review everybody, all the forms submitted. Then we have to get some of the Los Rios stuff to look at the people that we've kind of vetted and nailed it down to. From there, then from our timeline, you would be receiving an email notification sometime by the end of April, either if you were selected to move forward or if you were not selected. So you will know where you stand. And then from there, you have about 2 to 3 weeks to then film your content. That's up to your schedule. And there's no like time requirement for that. So technically, you're actively or filming things in like that 2 to 3 week time span, in early May to mid-May. And then you will submit everything to us by end of May, and then we will be finalizing and moving forward in June. So it's quite a quick turnaround. but hopefully giving the 2 to 3 weeks for the content creators to create and record, hopefully that feels like it's enough time. And again, whoever gets selected and there's conflicts or things that happen, we understand. Can have that conversation to whoever is selected if they need more time. But we are suspecting this would be the content creation phase. It would be about 2 to 3 weeks.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
and
Leslie.
yeah, sorry. And one more thing. And once again, for those selected, you will know all of that will be outlined, what you need to do, when you need to submit things by. All of that is provided at a later date.
Okay. And there's one more question. So how many video records will you need for this campaign?
Yeah, I think I answered that one earlier. I think I said it was 20. We're looking at about 20 people, at least 20 videos, depending on how many clips you submit. We then can then turn it into a couple more video assets. But from your perspective, from a content creator perspective, it is enough clips to form one video.
Thank you, everyone, for such thoughtful questions for Leslie. And Leslie, thank you for taking the time to connect with our students to share this opportunity with them. I know metrics is really important with marketing, right? One of
Absolutely.
the pieces that is really important to us as well is getting student feedback in the form of a poll or a survey. And so what's going to pop up on your screen is a quick 3-question poll. It's anonymous. The aggregate or the combined data is going to be shared together, so your name won't be connected to it. And this really helps the hosts, us, American River College Work Experience and Internship Program, know the impact that this, about 45 minutes that you'll be spending with us, kind of what the impact is. And it also lets our employers know, kind of share back with their team how this time was spent and what's the impact on the audience, right? If in terms how valuable you found the session, that's really the first, well, the first question really is about learning. The second question is about how valuable found it. And then the last one is kind of how likely you are the action that you might consider taking as a result of attending. And again, just like marketing, right? You all want to know your metrics about, what the impact of all this work is. This really helps us know if should continue to offer info sessions like this for students. If there's maybe something that we need to adjust and to improve on, we're always looking for ways to improve. And so this is really helpful. So thank you for taking the time. I can see about over 60% of you have participated. And we just want to encourage you, if you haven't participated, to do that. So I wanted to make sure we had enough time, Leslie, for the poll. But I want to turn it back over to you with any last thoughts or encouragements you have for students who are considering submitting a form.
Sorry, Vivian. Can you repeat that one more time?
Oh,
Sorry, the
yeah,
connection on my end.
yeah, no problem. I know the internet kind of was going in and out. Just if you had any last thoughts for the students who attended this session about applying, yeah, just any last thoughts you
Yeah.
had for them.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned yeah, I'm just encouraging you to apply. It doesn't hurt, there's no opportunity you can't get if you don't put yourself out there and try. So even if you're unsure or you may not be like, oh, I'm not qualified completely, but there's some parts that you are qualified, I would still encourage you to submit a form. Yeah, and I'm excited to to see everyone's submissions. And yeah, and if you have other cousins or other relatives in other Los Rios campuses and you think they might be a great fit, please let them know. Again, the more the merrier, and I'm really looking forward to reviewing everyone's forms.
Great. Okay, Leslie. Well, I want to encourage you all to continue to engage with Handshake again. I know we've mentioned that a few times. The career fair is over for ARC, but if you're interested in other opportunities, all of our opportunities are posted on Handshake, like these info sessions, like resume workshops, um, different employer events. So we want to encourage you to engage with that as well. I know that Paula and Reza shared some of the contact information earlier in the session, but we want to encourage you to reach out to the work experience and internship program at your college. We offer services like reviewing resume, cover letter, and doing mock interview. This opportunity is a little outside of the box. It doesn't follow like that traditional sort of application process, which is fine. But if you are interested in any of those services, we want to encourage you to reach out to your work experience and internship program. And then I also want to thank everyone who's replied to the poll. 83% of you have replied. So I appreciate you taking the time to do those 3 clicks. And Paula went ahead and put in the chat the link to schedule an appointment with the work experience staff at ARC. We do offer students the opportunity to earn college credit. Reza mentioned that at the top of the session for any unpaid or paid work. And so if you want to learn more about that and how that can happen, you can also make an appointment for that as well. I always like to end the session by just giving appreciation to everybody, particularly the students who have spent your time with us. I know you all are very busy. I'm sure if you submit a day in the life of a Los Rios student, right, your video, you all have a lot of responsibilities and amazing creative things you're doing, so many things. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to tune in. I also would like to invite you to show some love to Leslie in the chat or, through some sort of emojis or whatever. You already got some shout outs here, Leslie. So this is the first time that we're hosting with Leslie. And so I'm excited to have you here. And so, Threefold was really excited to reach out through us. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to make the slide deck and for also just being so thorough with your answers to the students' questions. So thank you. And certainly thanking the work experience team. Thank you for helping in the background and in the foreground for making all of this happen for students. I know you all have a really strong passion for supporting students in their, career goals. And so I appreciate all the time and effort and thoughtfulness you put into this. So with that, I will say thank you to everyone. We're ending a bit early, so glad to give you back about 15 minutes of your day. So with that, I'll say thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in your application. Take care.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.